Live.
Good evening and welcome to Prime Time News here on TV1. You're with me, Disal Kapoge, bringing you the news for News First, the voice of the people. Before we get into the news today, let's first take a look at the headlines.
Local government election will go ahead as planned. Election Commission tells Supreme Court. Public Administration Secretary summoned by the Election Commission. Allegations made against government attempts to delay the election.
රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ ඉදිරියේ මේ ඡන්ද කල්දාන නෝට කල්දාන ගත හැකි වන්නේ විවස්ථා විරෝධී නීති විරෝධී පාරක විතරයි.
කැබිනට් එක විවස්ථා විරෝධී තීන්දුව ගන්න කැබිනට් එකක් බවට පත් වෙලා තිබෙනවා.
ව්‍යවස්ථා උල්ලංඝනය කරන සියලු දෙනාට නීතියෙන් දඬුවම් ලබා දීම සඳහා අනිවාර්යෙන් කොමිසමක් පත් කරනවා කියන එක පැහැදිලිවම කියන්න ඕන.
Shortage of medicine takes its toll. Doctors and staff take to the streets. Fitch ratings downgrades 10 Sri Lankan Banks, CEB and Lakdanavi Limited. PUCSL calls for public views on electricity tariff hike. Remote Ambalavata village gets a new bridge from Gammadda.
Will elections be held before the 10th of March 2023? 57 days more.
Now in your top story, the National Elections Commission today informed the Supreme Court that the local government election will go ahead as planned.
President's Counsel Salia Piris, appearing for the National Election Commission, informed the Supreme Court that the local government election will go ahead as planned. The Election Commission informed the Supreme Court about this matter when a petition filed by retired Sri Lanka Army Colonel W.M.R. Vijayasundara was taken up on Friday. Retired Sri Lankan Army Colonel W.M.R. Vijayasundara had filed an application with the Supreme Court seeking a writ order invalidating the preparations that are being made for the local government election. The matter was taken up in the presence of Chief Justice Jayantha Jayasuriya, Justices S. Thurai Raja and Janak De Silva. President's Counsel Romesh De Silva requested the court to call for the petition on the 18th of January, noting that another petition related to the matter is to be filed on that day. A junior counsel appearing for the petitioner informed the court that several amendments are to be made to the application. Accordingly, the petition will be taken up on the 18th of January 2023.
What was the point of this case? They claim there are no funds for the elections. However, the chairman of the Election Commission says the Treasury assured to release funds. Therefore, the petitioner cannot come before the Supreme Court. These are fake attempts made by the government to delay the elections. These attempts will fail. That is what was proven in court.
අවුරු හරි උත්සාහ කරනවා නම් මේ ආණ්ඩුවනේ මේ ප්‍රයත්නේ දරන්නේ ඒක කිසිසේත්ම සාර්ථක වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියන එක අද අධිකරණයේ ඉස්සරහා ඇති වෙච්ච කරුණු වලින් තාවුරු වෙනවා.
Home Affairs Secretary Neil Bandara Hapuhinna has apologized to the National Elections Commission for issuing a controversial letter.
Sri Lanka's Public Administration and Home Affairs Secretary Neil Bandara Hapuhinna has apologized to the National Election Commission for issuing a letter directing district secretaries and returning officers to refrain from accepting bonds for the local government election. Commissioner General of Elections Saman Ratnayaka in a statement told Newsfirst that the Public Administration Secretary was summoned to the Election Commission to inquire about the letter. Public Administration Secretary Neil Bandara Hapuhinna had told the Election Commission that he issued the letter as per cabinet decision and the powers vested in him, and after he realized that it was inappropriate, he decided to recall the letter within an hour of sending it out. He had further noted that he had no intention of interfering with the process of the Election Commission and only executed a cabinet decision. He had noted that as he decided to recall the letter within an hour of sending it out, there was no impact on the bond accepting process, and it was further evident 131 political parties and groups placed bonds the following day. Public Administration Secretary Neil Bandara Hapuhinna apologised to the National Election Commission for causing any inconvenience. Multiple factions commented on government attempts to delay the elections.
All efforts that can be taken in Parliament to delay the elections have been exhausted. The next step is the court. The court has delivered 2 prior rulings, noting that officials cannot be vested with administrative powers to control local government institutions. As per the ruling of the Supreme Court, the election cannot be delayed. It is our view that all avenues to delay the election in Parliament and in the court have been exhausted. However, the government is looking for other illegal options. One was the cabinet decision to suspend accepting bonds. I wish to ask the ministers from the cabinet, was any such decision taken by the cabinet? We wish to know if the Public Administration Secretary Neil Hapuhinna cast aside his duties and worked for narrow political gains. According to the Constitution, hindering the election process can lead to a jail term of 3 years. We have already informed the Attorney General in writing about the conduct of Neil Hapuhinna and requested action. In addition, an advisor to the President, the director from the President's Media Division, have launched a propaganda campaign to obtain public support to delay the election. I have the program in hand. It states there is no money, benefits will be slashed, impossible to continue at a time when the economy is recovering. Ministers are to say that salaries will be slashed if elections go ahead, and the pensions as well as Samurdhi benefits will be lost. These are all lies. If the election costs 8 billion rupees, the Election Commission says it will cost 10 billion rupees. That's the daily revenue of the state. All of Ranil Wickremesinghe's efforts to delay the elections in Parliament and in court are over. If Ranil Wickremesinghe tries to delay the election any further, it will be through illegal and unconstitutional means. Ranil Wickremesinghe must understand that we will not allow that.
විවස්ථා විරෝධී නීති විරෝධී පාරක විතරයි. විවස්ථා විරෝධ නීති විරෝධී කැලෑ පාරවල් වලින් අපේ රට පාලනය කරන රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහට ඉඩ නොදෙන බව රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ තේරුම් ගත යුතුයි.
දැන් මේ ආණ්ඩුව මුලින් ඉඳන්ම මේ මැතිවරණය කල් දමා ගැනීම සඳහා
From the very beginning, this government made attempts to delay the election. Eventually, they got the Public Administrative Secretary to dispatch a letter. The cabinet takes unconstitutional decisions. We have concerns as to whether the decision was taken at the cabinet. I challenge that the decision was not taken in cabinet and the letter is a sham. It was a letter prepared for the needs of the president. I challenge any cabinet minister to disclose the minutes of the cabinet meeting to reveal such a decision. In addition, Minister Bandula Gunawardena is placing bonds for the Homagama Pradesh Sabah and at the same time tells reporters at the Government Information Department that there are no funds for the election.
පුවත්පත් සාකච්ඡාවේ ඉඳගෙන කියනවා ඡන්දෙ තියන්න සල්ලි නැහැ.
SJB parliamentarian S.M. Marika said an SJB government will take action to inquire into those who violate the constitution.
මේ සල්ලි නැහැ අරක නැහැ මේක නැහැ කියලා කවුරු හරි ඒක හරහා ඡන්ද කල් දාන්න හදනවා නම් ඒක ව්‍යවස්ථාව උල්ලංඝනය කිරීමක්.
If someone is trying to delay the elections by claiming a shortage of funds and so on, that is an unconstitutional move. There is a punishment for those who violate the constitution. If the president or the government or anyone else is trying to violate the constitution, we would like to remind them that in 2023 there will be a change in government with 0 deals. Therefore, we will appoint a commission to penalize everyone that violates the constitution.
සියලු දෙනාට නීතියෙන් දඬුවම් ලබා දීම සඳහා අනිවාර්යෙන් කොමිසමක් පත් කරනවා කියන එක පැහැදිලිවම කියන්න ඕන.
Several political parties placed their bonds on Friday to contest the local government election. The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna placed bonds for all the local government institutions in the Kegalle district to contest under the symbol of the flower bud. Several SLPP members, including its General Secretary Sagara Karyawasam, were present.
We held discussions with the UNP. We contested and won all 19 electorates and therefore we have no room left for them.
එතකොට 19න් 19ක්ම ජයග්‍රහණය කරපුවෙන් පස්සේ අපිට තව ඉඩ කඩක් දෙන්න එහෙම අවස්ථාවක් නැහැ.
ඒ නිසා දෙගොල්ලෝ වෙන වෙන මිලනවා.
I am not aware of the stance of the UNP, but we will contest as the SLPP.
ජන පෙරමුණෙන් ඉල්ලනවා.
පක්ෂයක් හැටියට මේ වතාවේ
As a party we will be successful. Let the others go on beating the drum claiming the election will be delayed. We are strong and we will face the election.
අපි පක්ෂයක් හැටියට සූදානම් වුණා මේ ඡන්ද විමසීමට. බොහෝ දෙනෙක් චෝදනා කරන ඡන්දේ තියන්න ආණ්ඩුව පස්ස ගහනවා මොකද ඡන්දය ගැන විශ්වාස නැති tamun ගැන විශ්වාස නැති කට්ටිය එවැනි කතා කියනවා.
The Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna also placed bonds to contest the local government election from the Ratnapura district.
එතකොට රත්නපුර දිස්ත්‍රික්කයේ හැම සාලස්සාල්ම කියන්නේ පොහොට්ටුව ලැබෙන UMP එක එකතුලා දැන්.
තවම තියෙන එක සාකච්ඡා මට්ටමේ පොහොට්ටුව ජයග්‍රහණය කරන බව අපි දන්නවා.
The Samagi Jana Balawegya placed bonds to contest local government institutions in the Badulla district.
We have prepared a plan to defeat the corrupt groups. This is the ideal time to solve the issues of the people.
The National People's Power placed bonds to contest from the Gaul district under the symbol of the compass. NPP National Executive Member Nalin Hevage was among those present.
This is not just a local government election. This is an election that will change the course of the country. We cannot allow them to loot from this country anymore. The day they delay the election is the day we will take to the streets.
The National People's Power placed bonds to contest 17 local government institutions in Diga Madulla. NPP Executive Committee member Vasantha Piyathissa was among those present. The National Democratic Front representing the indigenous community placed bonds to contest for 4 local government institutions in the Badulla district.
This is the first time in history where a political group has come out representing the indigenous community in the country. With the blessings of the indigenous leader, we expect to claim victory of 4 Marvelous Sabahs of the Badulla district, and we will also contest in the entire Ampara district.
A group of Aragalaya members including Dani Zali placed bonds for the Colombo Municipal Council from the Sri Lanka Samajra party.
Will elections be held before the 10th of March 2023? 57 days more.
The shortage of medicines has severely affected the lives of patients across the country. As no solution is given, doctors have started to express their concerns over the situation.
This is a protest that took place in Badulla on Friday, demanding an immediate solution to the issues that have plagued the health sector, including the shortage of medicine. Protests were also organised opposite multiple hospitals in the country, demanding a solution to the medicine shortage.
When the new year dawns, the medicine shortage will become worse. That means the last hope for survival will also be at risk.
Handbills highlighting the medicine shortage were distributed at the Anuradhapura Teaching Hospital. The distribution program was organised by the Government Medical Officers Association.
We've been saying for more than a month that there is a severe medicine shortage. Go inside and have a look. You will see how many medicines are available. Ask the patients about the number of medicines they are given. We suspect whether a conspiracy is afoot to disable the country's health sector. There is a shortage of paracetamol syrup for kids to prep a cold that is used for surgery. Of the 22 medicines required for cancer patients, Sri Lankan hospitals only have 3 medicines. Daily deaths are being reported. If we do not get the CAPD solution for the kidney patients, they too would die in a matter of days. However, the authorities are not taking any measures to address this issue.
Solution ඒවා නැති වුණොත් දවස් දෙකෙන් තුනේ මිනිස්සු මැරෙනවා. එහෙම මිනිස්සු මැරුණා. ඒකට කිසිදු ක්‍රියාමාර්ගයක් බලධාරීන් ගත්ත බවක් පේන්නේ නැහැ.
The Deputy Director General of Medical Supplies Division of the Health Ministry, Dr. D.R.K. Herath, told Newsfirst that steps have been taken to address any shortage of medicine in the country.
Students from the University of Peradeniya protested on Friday the 13th against government oppression.
Student activists protested against the government's approach towards university students. They marched from the university premises to the Galaha Junction.
Convener of the Inter-University Students Federation, Vasantha Mudalige, was granted bail by the 4th Magistrates Court in the case filed over the incident where cash found at the President's office was misplaced. The case was filed against 72 people for unlawfully entering the President's office. Convener of the Inter-University Students Federation, Vasantha Mudalige, named as the 73rd suspect by Fort Police.
He was remanded on the 20th of January. It's clear that an agenda is in place. This is a political issue. We did everything that Vasantha Mudalige did. We are obtaining signatures from the people. Vasantha Mudalige is jailed. The Aragalaya cannot be stopped by filing cases.
Venerable Galvava Sri Dhammathero, the convener of the Inter-University Bhikkhu Federation, was ordered by the Colombo Magistrates Court to report to the Terrorist Investigations Division on Saturday and provide a statement.
I was ordered to be present in court today based on a complaint made by the Terrorist Investigations Division. The court ordered me to report to the TID on Saturday to record a statement. We were engaged in the Aragalaya before. We were arrested in relation to the Aragalaya and the TID held us for 90 days and then remanded us. We see a situation where statements are being recorded again. This is the situation.
The United States government has launched a global campaign without just cause to call for the release of political prisoners and other unfairly imprisoned around the world. The State Department said in a statement on Wednesday, quote, "As the Universal Declaration of Human Rights makes it clear, every person worldwide is entitled to respect for their human rights, including freedom of opinion and expression, peaceful assembly and association," end quote. The State Department called on ordinary people everywhere to support the campaign, saying, quote, "The United States call for the immediate release of all political prisoners and invites all who believe in the universality of human rights and fundamental freedoms to support this initiative. There is power in your actions and in your voice. You can help free these prisoners and diminish human rights abuses generally," end quote. The State Department pointed out, quote, "Some governments abuse their legal systems to target peaceful protesters or government critics on contrived charges such as terrorism, extremism, cybercrimes, fake news or hooliganism. Many are sentenced by courts that lack independence in trials closed to outside observers, while others are detained without being afforded other applicable legal protections," end quote.
There was bad news for perpetrators of war crimes as US President Joe Biden signed into law the Justice for Victims of War Crimes Act, which authorizes the US Department of Justice to prosecute citizens of any country who are in the United States for war crimes committed anywhere in the world. This is expected to severely restrict the entry into the US of those accused of war crimes in foreign countries. The US State Department's Ambassador at Large for Global Criminal Justice, Beth Van Schaak, tweeted, quote, "President Biden signed into law the historic Justice for Victims of War Crimes Act, giving Department of Justice jurisdiction to prosecute persons present in the US for war crimes committed anywhere, regardless of the nationality of alleged perpetrator or victim. This law, passed with strong bipartisan support, better aligns the US with our allies and the Geneva Conventions and gives Department of Justice the ability to try Russians responsible for war crimes in Ukraine should they come to the US," unquote.
The chairman of the Marvelous Sabah was arrested by officers attached to the Commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption on Friday the 13th for soliciting a bribe of 2 million rupees.
The Marvelous Sabah is controlled by the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna and its chairman was arrested for soliciting a bribe to pass a building plan. He was arrested while accepting a bribe of 2 million rupees at a popular hotel at the Marvelous town. The commission to investigate allegations of bribery or corruption said the suspect will be produced in court.
Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa said that politicians must create a country where the youth can move forward.
Opposition leader Sajid Premadasa donated the 70th school bus under the Sakpala program to the Thanamalwila Central College.
A majority in the Silicon Valley in California of the USA is engaged in the software development sector. They are Indian software engineers. The reason is that chief ministers in Indian provinces introduced the computer revolution several decades ago. We need to convert our education system to meet the world market demand. We need to hand over this country to the youth. We need to establish a system where the aspirations of the youth can be realized. His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjith, the Archbishop of Colombo, said that the Supreme Court ruling is crucial to uncover the truth behind the 2019 April 21st terror attacks. The ruling by the 7-judge bench of the Supreme Court delivered on Thursday is not only important to all the victims of the Easter Sunday attacks, but to all those who value justice in this country. It was a historic decision. The ruling made it clear that even if you are a president with executive powers or a high-ranking official, if you have committed a crime, you cannot escape the law. Just like us, a majority of the people believe that a grand conspiracy was behind this heinous attack. This ruling is a very important step in the process of uncovering who was involved in that conspiracy. We will not rest until we uncover the truth, reveal the people who were responsible for it, and bring them before the law. Justice for the Easter attacks will be delivered when the truth in its entirety is revealed. We believe the Supreme Court ruling will lead us on that path.
His Eminence Malcolm Cardinal Ranjith also commented on the discovery of a hand grenade from the premises of the All Saints Church in Borella on the 11th of January 2022 and the events that transpired after.
It's been over a year since a hand grenade was placed at All Saints Church in Borella. Yet the person who did it has not been revealed. Several innocent people were arrested on false charges. The then minister in charge of the police and the defense secretary lied to the media. As no evidence was uncovered for over a month, they were released. What happened to their human rights? What happened to their respect? Is this how the police should operate? Fitch Ratings has downgraded the ratings of 10 Sri Lankan banks.
Fitch Ratings has downgraded the national long-term ratings of 10 Sri Lankan banks following the recent sovereign downgrade and recalibration of the agency's Sri Lankan National Rating Scale. The recalibration is to reflect changes in the relative creditworthiness among Sri Lankan issuers following Fitch's downgrade of Sri Lanka's long-term local currency issuer default rating to CC from CCC under criteria observation on the 1st of December 2022. Fitch typically does not assign outlooks or apply modifiers to sovereigns with a rating of CCC plus or below. National scale ratings are a risk ranking of issuers in a particular market designed to help local investors differentiate risk. National scales are not comparable with Fitch's international rating scales or with other countries' national rating scales. For details, see Fitch Ratings recalibrates Sri Lanka's national rating scale dated 19 December 2022.
Fitch Ratings also downgraded the Ceylon Electricity Board and Lakdanavi Limited.
Fitch Ratings has downgraded Ceylon Electricity Board's national long-term rating to B from AA-. The outlook is stable. Fitch has simultaneously downgraded the national long-term rating of CEB's outstanding senior unsecured debentures to B from AA-. The downgrade follows Fitch's downgrade of the Sri Lankan sovereign's long-term local currency issuer default rating to CC from CCC in December 2022, and the recalibration of our Sri Lankan national rating scale to reflect changes in the relative creditworthiness among the country's issuers. Fitch Ratings has also downgraded Sri Lanka-based Lakdanavi Limited's national long-term rating to A from AA-, adding that the outlook is stable. The rating action reflects the heightened counterparty risk stemming from Lakdanavi's key counterparty, Ceylon Electricity Board.
The Public Utilities Commission of Sri Lanka has decided to obtain public opinion concerning the electricity tariff amendments.
The PUCSL will seek public views on the electricity tariff amendment from the 13th of January to the 7th of February 2023. In the first stage, public views can be submitted to the PUCSL in writing, and thereafter oral submissions can be made. The PUCSL said that the CEB requested a tariff amendment on the 5th of January. However, speaking to the media, the CEB said the tariff hike will come into effect from the 15th of January as per a cabinet decision.
Sivakumar Nadesan, one of the leading publishers in Sri Lanka, was bestowed with the Pravasi Bharatiya Saman award from Her Excellency Draupadi Murmu, the President of India, at the 17th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas 2023 valedictory session.
Mr. Sivakumar Nadesan from Sri Lanka Community Welfare.
Sivakumar Nadesan, the Managing Director of the Veerakesari Publishers by Express Newspapers, Chairman of the Sri Lanka Press Institute and the Press Complaints Commission of Sri Lanka, received the Pravasi Bharatiya Saman Award from Her Excellency Draupadi Murmu, the President of India, at the 17th Pravasi Bharatiya Divas 2023 valedictory session held on the 10th of January 2023 in Indo, Madhya Pradesh. Nadesan is the only Sri Lankan among 27 others selected globally to receive the coveted Pravasi Bharatiya Saman Award. Sivakumar Nadesan also represents the Newspaper Society of Sri Lanka. He is also the President of the Global Organization of People of Indian Origin and has been a recipient of the Service Above Self from Rotary International for community work. A jury-cum awards committee with Honorable Jagdeep Dhankar, Vice President of India, as the Chairman, and Honorable Subramaniam Jaishankar, External Affairs Minister, as the Vice Chair, and other distinguished members from various walks of life considered the nominations for the Pravasi Bharatiya Saman Awards 2023 and unanimously selected the awardees for conferment of the Pravasi Bharatiya Saman Awards 2023.
US Ambassador to Sri Lanka Julie Chung had said reforms will ensure Sri Lanka will not return to the same cycle of debt distress.
Beijing has said they are a friend of Sri Lanka, and I'm sure the Sri Lankan people would love to see that turn into action and make sure that there is not a delay and that Beijing really responds quickly without delay in terms of providing those financial assurances. Sri Lanka does not have time to delay. They need these assurances immediately. And we've seen again delays in Zambia and Chad and other countries where for one reason or another it's been held up. And China has been the spoiler. So again, for the sake of the Sri Lankan people, we certainly hope the PRC is not a spoiler as they proceed to attain this IMF agreement. More coordination within the international community, not less, as we look towards how we can support countries in debt distress, help them get back on their feet, but in a way that the reforms will be long-lasting and not returning to the same cycle of debt distress that we've seen everywhere.
Sri Lanka's central bank has urged China and India to agree a write-down of their loans as soon as possible.
When we thought we should be able to get the assurances within about 3 months, so that we were hoping to get the program unlocked from the IMF somewhere in December. For whatever reason that there was a delay, the sooner they give us financial assurances, that would be better for both, as a creditor, as a debtor. That will help for us to start repaying their obligations sooner than later.
The body of a second youth who was reported missing was recovered from behind a house in Rambukana. Sri Lanka police said that 2 young men were missing for over a month. A person complaint was filed by the families of Mohammed Anwar, Mohammed Arfan from Kiringadeniya. And Mohammad Nafaz Muhammad Ali from Shaziawat stating they were missing since the 28th of November last year. Later it was revealed that the men were murdered and buried near a house in Rambukkana. Sri Lanka police suspect the two men were attacked and killed by a drug dealer following a dispute and later buried in the garden of a house. If we look back at history, Mahayangane was a crucial area that gave leadership to the great battle of Uvavellassa as Sri Lankans struggled for their freedom. But today the people living in this area have been neglected and are in dire straits. For generations, the village of Ambalavata suffered due to the lack of a proper bridge, which even led to the deaths of residents as they braved the raging waters just trying to get to the other side. But starting today, the people of this village will not face this problem anymore. And here's why.
The people of this village in rural Ambalavata have no choice but to cross the Unagahala Oya every day to get to school, work, or even to a hospital. During the rainy seasons, this stream turns into a raging torrent. Villagers had placed several logs across this waterway as a makeshift bridge. However, when it rains, this crossing becomes a death trap due to the gushing waters. Gammadda identified the plight of these villagers and in October 2022 launched a project to construct a bridge for these people. The Airline Pilots Guild of Sri Lanka joined hands with Gammadda to take this project off the ground. Within a short span of 2 months, Gammadda was able to complete this fully functional bridge for the village. The Gammadda Bridge, as the villagers have christened it, will serve these communities from today and safely convey the young and old from one shore to another as they get about their daily work. Today's handing over ceremony was graced by the Mahasangha. Mahayangane Divisional Secretary Sanjay Veerasinghe, Captain Niranjan John Pulle and Captain John Christie of the Pilots Guild of Sri Lanka, the leader of the indigenous community Uruwarage Wanilatto, special invitee Dr. Rasita Vikramasinghe and Siobhan Daniel of the Gammadda movement, among others, were present. Chief incumbent of the Diyamankanna Historic Temple, Venerable Kukulapula Gunaratana Thero, had this to say.
Gammadda is recognized and appreciated by the whole world. Everybody knows how Gammadda serves the people of Sri Lanka across the whole country. They understand the heartbeat of the people and their struggles. Young people working as part of this movement expect nothing in return. That is why I say Gammadda is the beating heart of the Sri Lankan village.
සැබවින්ම ගම්මැද්දක්ම යයි මම නිරහංකාරව සඳහන් කරන්නේ බොහෝ සතුටින්.
Captain Niranjan John Pulle of the Pilots Guild of Sri Lanka also spoke at the event.
මගේ අදහසක් තමයි අපි මේ ලෝකේ ඉන්නේ කාට හරි සේවයක් වෙන්න.
This bridge belongs to you. You need to take care of this. A bridge is something that connects as we are connected with each other here. I live in Colombo. However, today I am connected with you through Gammadda. I believe the purpose of life is to serve people. If not, life is meaningless.
මගේ අදහසක් තමයි අපි මේ ලෝකේ ඉන්නේ කාට හරි සේවයක් වෙන්න. මගෙන් සේවයක් වුණ නැත්නම් මගේ ජීවිතෙන් කිසිම වැඩක් නැහැ. මගේ මතය ඒකයි.
Quoting the Venerable S. Mahinda Thero, head of the Ambalavata Gammadda Savia Community Society, had this to say.
මගේ රට මගේ ජාතිය මගේ ගම මගේ සත් සිරිත් සහ ජාතික උරුම මගේ වැරයෙන්ම නිදහස් කොට තිබුම මගේ යුතුයකමය සලකව හැමදෙනම අන්නේ කවියට
Gammadda brought true meaning to this poem. Gammadda showed the children of this village how to get organized and build our country by building our village.
Starting today, children in this village can go to school safely and parents can get about their activities with ease. Patients can go to hospital and farmers can get their produce to the market. Gammadda, for the people, by the people.
News First, with the people.
Lisa Marie Presley, the only child of rock and roll legend Elvis, died at the age of 54.
Lisa Marie Presley was taken to hospital from her home in Calabasas, California after a reported cardiac arrest. Days before her hospitalization, Lisa Marie attended the Golden Globe Awards in support of the Baz Luhrmann film Elvis, starring actor Austin Butler, who picked up an award for his portrayal of the King. Born at the height of Elvis's fame in 1968, Lisa Marie Presley was seen as the princess to the man celebrated as the king of rock and roll. Elvis and Priscilla Presley separated in 1972 when their daughter was 4 years old and she was only 9 when her father died in 1977.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News here on TV1 for tonight. As always, thank you for watching. Stay safe, take care and have a good night.